Welcome, everybody, to episode 3 of Outfitting Unity. My guest today is Jordan Boogaard from Eddie HR. So glad to have you. We go back. We have some similar interests, and we've known each other through business networking. But it's so good to have you here today, bro.
Stoked to be here. This is awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome. So we're going to talk about some fun things today. But first, Jordan, if you'll just introduce yourself real quick and tell us something you would never tell anyone that we get to find out today.
Never tell anyone?
Yeah.
This
is like your best friend right here, right? Yeah.
Honestly, I don't have any secrets. So, but yeah, I'm Jordan Boogaard. I've been in like the payroll and HR industry for 17 years. I worked at like ADP Heartland, started my own company. Then I merged with the company I'm currently with. It's called Eddie HR. And so I've been there for about 5.5 years and super passionate about helping customers. But my real obsession is my family and my kids. Whatever they're doing, I'm doing. And so my girls do cheer. My oldest does mountain biking. My youngest does like basketball, football, baseball. So I'm obsessed with that. But any free time I have, my personal passion is to bike. So I love to mountain bike, gravel bike, road bike, whatever has two wheels. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And we know each other through that too. So our boys both mountain bike. But today I'd love to hear Jordan runs a networking group on his own, and it's called Network and Pedal.
Yeah.
And so I've been invited to it, haven't been available to join yet, but I've wanted to so bad. So I want to hear about it today. And the purpose of our show is to connect and unite people. And that's really our mission at Nameify, is to connect and unite people one brand at a time. And you are doing it. It's so neat to see people that are doing it, and Jordan is doing it. So where did the idea come from for Network and Pedal?
So honestly, like I've done so many different networking groups. Like I've been involved with you at like Trust and like other groups. I've been to Allies with you.
Yeah.
I have my own networking group that I built out, and then it's kind of merged and done different things. And it's so much fun to get together, whether it's like once a week or once a month or even like quarterly, to just be with people that you trust and want to do business with. But then if you add the extra element of doing something that you're passionate about, it makes it even more fun. And so I'd been networking since I'd worked at ADP, and that was like almost 18 years ago. I'd go work with bankers, CPAs, like healthcare brokers, like anyone where I could like connect with and was like a percentage of payroll and get business from. And we would do the same thing every time. We'd go grab lunch, or we'd go sit in an office in a round table and we'd share leads back and forth. And I'm like, there's got to be a little bit better way to do this. And
this is less fun.
Yeah, this is less fun. And so I'm like, okay, what do I love doing? And that's biking. And I'm like, I guarantee there's plenty of people that are into the same sport as I am. And so randomly, I just posted one day on LinkedIn. I'm like, does anyone want to go biking together? And I literally had like 40 or 50 people message me on LinkedIn. I'm like, okay, so people do want to go biking.
Good idea, brother.
And that's kind of like I came up with the Network and Pedal, and and so usually like 5 to 6 times a year we'll do rides around like the local areas, like anywhere from like Provo up to like Ogden and stuff like that. And then usually twice a year we'll do like trips. We've gone to Moab, St. George, and so it's just really fun to get people together that are passionate about the same thing. And then you realize they're like the CTO. I've been on a biking trip with your CTO here.
Yeah.
And so that's super fun.
Yeah.
And I've also done stuff down in Moab, and like I brought in I don't know if you guys know Alex Bean from Divvy, but it was just after he had exited, and so it was one of the coolest experiences ever. We all went mountain biking and did like almost the whole enchilada.
Oh wow.
And then afterwards we go sit at this fire pit.
It's a great ride down there. Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah.
And he just opened up and kind of told us everything. Like everything, what it took to like build a business, with how fast he exited, the struggles he had with like building a business and like breaking.
The truth. Yeah.
Yes, like how do I like give more time to my family when I'm doing this all day long, living at the office from 6 to 10 or 11, 12 at night. And he let us ask any questions he wants. And so it's like, that's where it really hit me, like, let's keep doing this. And so it's super fun. I did a post today on LinkedIn, and I probably had like 20 or 30 comments already of like, oh yeah, like why did it snow today? Let's go out and network and pedal. So anyways, long-winded, but that's fun.
No, it's great. So when I think of most networking, most of us know that. We're going to go have a meal, we're going to talk a lot, but there's something about doing something athletic, doing something out of your comfort zone that brings other things. A friend of mine told me that the best conversations he has with kids is like a road trip.
Yeah.
Because they just like, gab, and you're like, wait, what? Why did I ask you about that last week and you said nothing? But once we're out of our element. The walls come down. So I'm sure you've had different levels of people that can bike, because for me, like there's things that I excel at and things that I don't, right?
Sure.
And like if I'm not great, I don't want to show up and be mediocre. So how do you invite people that are interested but aren't at that skill level, right? Because you're beyond intermediate, right? Like you You've loved
I'm
the
a
sport.
solid like C plus. Yeah.
Nice, dude. Well, you get there. Stay focused. But how do you invite people that want to be around you, that want to be around that energy, but don't feel comfortable yet to go out and do that for fear of being judged, but want to be part of that energy?
Honestly, like I didn't realize it was an issue because like I've always felt inclusive of everyone. Like, hey, whoever wants to come, you're invited. Doesn't matter your skill level. And I've even said that when I like post the rides and stuff like that. But it was usually people that knew how to bike. And so it was probably up until like the 10th, 15th time that I've done it that we started to have like some different levels. And so I had to start changing the way I word things. Like I always ride in the back. I call it the sweep, right?
Yep.
And so I'm like, no one's
That's
left
what
behind.
it's called, by the way. It's called sweep. So
I don't care how fast you are, how slow you are, if you've never biked before. And so it's been really fun because we've had some people that didn't even have a bike that wanted to go with us. And I'm like, well, this is what I do, man. I got connections. Like, so actually a local company, Fazari, now Ari, they said, hey, we'll let them use a couple of our bikes if they want to go. And so we had like two of them was a young couple that was dating. They were like in their early 20s, never biked before, but they wanted to try it and they wanted to go networking. And so they went down to Ari and they got bikes and then they came and rode with us. And we did just like a slow, chill ride. And then last year for the first time, we had a girl that's actually, she's now a CEO of a company. And she's like, I was just always so intimidated because I always see pictures of you and dudes. I'm like, well, it doesn't have to be that way. Like everyone's invited.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And so she came and she invited like two of her friends and we rode and like she was probably faster than most of us there. Like she was a legit rider. Like I could not compete with her downhill. She was good. So
oh wow, that's awesome.
It was fun. Yeah. So I mean, you never know who's going to show up because like everyone's invited. But I've had some experiences where they've been at different levels and it's just fun to hang out with them. So.
Well, I love this, and I love that it's a different way to think about connecting. I remember when I was invited to golf for the first time. I did not grow up golfing. I grew up playing football and basketball. I actually looked down on the sport and had a really negative attitude about it. Like, I don't like those people. And I was really disappointed in myself because when I got there, I was invited to play at a country club for my very first round of golf, and I showed up in denim and some Chucks. My friend was like,
what are you doing, bro?
And he introduced me to the pro shop for the first time, and I was like, you got to be kidding me, So my friend's Terry Lyman, and I really am grateful that he...
I love Terry.
Yeah. He was just so welcoming and showed me the ropes. And, of course, I was awful, still mostly am, but it was so unique to see, like, what I was missing out on.
Yeah.
And what he wanted was to spend time with me.
Sure.
Right? He wanted to spend several hours with me. And when I think about golf from that perspective, or mountain biking or hiking, it's that it's time.
Yeah.
And when you go on a mountain bike, there's so many areas to stop and like things you get to see, and so when I think about like what you can do to step out of the normal way to connect with people, we have an adventure day in our company where you get the opportunity like to go adventure for that purpose of just go out and whatever your adventure is, go and do it. So what are some things that have surprised you about your networking groups? You talked about like who's riding, where you go, but like you can't just go and ride the whole enchilada.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's plenty of trails in Moab, but you can't just first time go do it. But like how are you seeing this? Like what are some surprises that you've had in creating your own networking group and getting people really out of their comfort zone?
That's a good question. I mean, honestly, I think some of like the coolest things I've seen is just how like the community comes together. Like I had never built a networking group before. Like I've been in sales my entire career, so I've networked. I've done some cool stuff, but like I posted that I was going to go to it was a Moab trip with Alex Bean, and I had like 5 or 6 companies. I was saying like, "Can I sponsor your event?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
just meet us there, dude.
We're just having fun, man. This is like we're just going to network. No, like I'd love to like you have cool branding and like I'd love to throw my logo on there and pitch in and like help pay for hotels or whatever that. And so I had like 5 or 6 companies reach out. So that was just kind of a cool experience. Like I was not asking for it. I didn't expect it. But like, honestly, like the coolest part is like, you don't really get to know a person until you go on a trip with them. So you probably learned that through your networking groups, right? And
traveling like multiple evenings.
Yeah, multiple events, like spending at least a night or 2 nights together, because then you wake up, you have breakfast, you hang out with them. Like you're doing 5 or 6 events in a day. Like, yes, mountain biking's like the core thing or whatever it may be. But like you're also having lunch with them, you're like going on walks with them or whatever it may be. And so just that like connection you get, and then the willingness of people like wanting to support sponsorships. I had people offer up their houses. Like,
oh wow.
I had one that we went to St. George, and this guy's like, hey, you get the people. I've got 2 houses right next to each other, and these were like pools in the backyard. Like they were awesome.
Wow.
It's like, I'll donate the houses, you just bring the people and we'll network together. And I'm like, this is so cool that people actually want to come together and do these things. So I've seen some really neat stuff like that of just like the community wanting to help out and making it even a cooler event. So
that's awesome. Okay, so you've been doing this for 2 years now? Was it
like
just last year?
3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Well, how have you been doing 3 or 4?
I really started like posting more about 2 years ago, but yeah, so it's
that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you were to like secretly join a group, like if you're like, gosh, I wish there was this. What do you wish there was? A group that did this.
Like adventurous or what?
Yeah, like you know, we all go razor riding, or we all go like scuba diving, or you know, like there's not a lot of that in Utah, but like, you know, like if there was a group that you could go do, I've been to like cooking classes, you know, I've been to like
pottery,
you know, game
things.
nights or like escape rooms, you know, and those are their own, you know, unique thing. But like, if there was a group that you could pick, like, man, I wish there was.
Sure.
What would it be for you?
So there was something. I went to a jazz game last night. They were playing the Bulls, and I was invited by one of my clients and partners, Pickler. So I do pickleball.
Yeah.
So you think I'm going to say pickleball, which is really cool. I love pickleball. Don't get me wrong. But they talked about the events they do, and one of the ones they do is they sponsor Formula One.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so they go to like several races per
You've
year,
been
and they
to a
like
race before.
No.
Oh, they're intense.
So that's what I want to do.
Fun. Yeah.
They set up like pickleball courts at the races. They've done it at the Super Bowl. They've done it like
while the race is happening. Or
yeah,
just
like just outside in the community. Like so, it's like kind of like it's like a networking event or whatever, and they're doing pickleball, but like at Formula One, at the Super Bowl, at like these cool events, and I'm like,
fun.
I heard Formula One. I'm like, I've watched some stuff on Netflix and like seen some of those shows, like Gran Torino. There's some like schools. I'm like, I want to go to Formula One. So if there was an networking event that took me there, that's on my bucket list.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One that I went to that I was surprised. We went to the Yeti Film Festival years ago with my team.
Cool.
And it was kind of strange to think of a film festival for like a cup company, right? Like, what are we going to watch?
I was hoping it was Yeti bikes, but
no, different Yeti, right? And Yeti coolers. They're and we work with them, but it was so fun actually. And there was this community of like brands that were there, and we talked for hours before. We talked afterwards, and it changed. We saw these stories at this film festival, and Yeti does these things called Yeti Films, and so we got to watch some of these films. But they brought the stars of these films, and you got to talk to them afterwards. And I was like, man, you got this like 6-foot fish, and like, or you hiked this crazy
awesome
mountain, or you canyoneered, and it was just so neat to see that. But film festivals were a surprise for me as something that like you meet people you never thought you would have met, and you have everything in common. And so that's something that I want to talk about. But before we do, I think your surprise is here.
Oh, sure.
Is his surprise here?
My surprise?
We have a surprise for you, bro. Welcome to a show.
Great. I didn't know
Jordan,
this was coming.
This is Mary, and she
Hi,
has
Mary.
a gift for you.
1 minute later.
What do we got in here? You guys went all out. This was like so nice.
Oh, you're just getting started, brother.
Are you serious?
Right now, yeah.
So now we're gonna do like all of our Eddie swag with you guys. You
That's
guys,
right.
this is a sales promo. That is freaking rad.
Keep going. We
keep going.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? This is, dude. Your guys' stuff is so good. That's like BYU approved for Travis.
That's right. Yeah. It's the right navy blue.
That's my navy blue. 2 jackets.
Yeah. A little North Face action for you.
This is like, I've never had anyone do this for me. So this is so nice of you guys.
Keep going. There's more in there, yeah?
This is rad. Keep going? Yeah, there's more. What's this? Oh, that's sweet.
Little polo.
So we're going to go golfing together?
We are going golfing together.
Okay, I like it. Beanie.
Keep you warm at night.
Dude, Nike's my... There's more stuff in here.
Yes.
What is this?
I don't know. You're going to have to open it up. It's a surprise.
It's like taped up, dude.
Just tear it.
Tear it.
Now you can get like business-like, okay?
Like
this party, now we're working.
Okay, now we're good. That looks really good too.
So we wanted to gift you.
That was so nice of you.
You're welcome, but we picked this for you. And so what we'd like for you to do is, because you know so many wonderful people, we want to give you the opportunity to gift somebody else. So on the show, I want you to pick someone, and we're going to give them $500 of whatever they want.
Whatever they want?
They get to go to our shop, and they get whatever they want. And so you get to give someone $500 today.
Anyone I want?
Anyone. Doesn't have to be an Eddie employee. It can be anyone you want.
Can it be an Eddie employee?
It can be. Yeah, anyone you want.
So one of the most humble, coolest dudes, works hard. He shows up at our office at like 7 a.m. every single morning. He'll get home at night and he'll still keep working. He like just so passionate about the customers. His name's Adam Smeltzer. You're getting $500, dude. So
Adam, you're getting $500 today. You're gonna get it from Jordan, but we just want you to know that we appreciate you. We appreciate the community we're part of.
That is so kind of you.
That's all for you, brother. We hope it all fits.
I'll suck in for whatever I need to. So
yeah,
that is awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, we can put that back in, and we'll have Tracy take it from you. But welcome, Mary. Welcome to the podcast.
You come to hang out with us now?
I am. Yeah.
Sweet. I'm just gonna hold this on my lap.
Good. Yeah. Do it.
We'll keep it here.
I hope to see you in the airport with that soon. Yeah.
For sure.
So let's go back to our conversation while you hold your wonderful things. One of the things that I've loved about building communities is thinking about who you're going to be building a community with. And so Mary comes from the same ilk. She's our director of people.
Nice. Yep. Hi.
Done a great job of connecting our employees. And so you guys have similar backgrounds. Mary is driving our culture and doing so much. We have an event coming up called Creativity Night. We'd like to invite you to it. You get to bring like your own logo. So like I'm bringing like a family logo, like a Frisbee family logo, and we're going to make Frisbee family stuff. And I've told my kids like we're going to make our things. He's like, Dad, can I try Spider-Man? And I was like, absolutely. We got to vectorize it first. Yeah. But these things, a way to like how people connect. What I love about Network and Pedal is it wasn't about you, right? It was about like getting people out of their comfort zone. So what have you thought about as you've thought about like these networking events? Is like, what are some things that like we should think about if we're going to go out and network? You know, like things that like if you were to coach someone, you want to connect with people, think about this.
Yeah. I think it's just like being all inclusive is probably the biggest thing, right?
Okay.
So like in sales, like it's kind of funny. I was going through a sales training online, and it talked about like the greatest salespeople are really good at like sharing features, right? Even better salespeople are really good at like showing like results, right? And the best people are good at creating feelings, right? And so when someone goes to an event, if they feel left out, if they don't feel like they're included, if they feel like they shouldn't even be there, they're probably not going to come again, right?
Yeah.
And so finding a way to make sure that everyone feels included, like in Network and Pedal, it's like the different levels of biking, right?
Yeah.
There's people that are incredible downhillers, and then there's we call them the XC guys that wear spandex, right? And they're so fast, like I can't even.
I have a pair at home. This is very embarrassing.
We're gonna wear those to that event, right? Good. You and I will be twins.
Yeah.
But like they're so fast uphill, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's no way I'm gonna keep up with them. But like, how do you keep everyone included? So like, I try like we've been broken up in groups and stuff like that. But like, that's the part where like, if people can come and have an experience where they feel included, I think that's the biggest win of all. So
awesome. Yeah, as I think about it, like there's someone teased about like introverted versus extroverted.
Yeah.
And so we talked about that today. We had an employee who's lights out and received like an annual award, right? And was just an incredible talent, incredible contributor, but felt uncomfortable receiving the award, right? And so like as we think about like, you know, and as we think about like what drives people, what motivates people like to want to connect with others, like I don't know, like what do you guys think? Like what stands out as like I want to go meet people, like be open to this, or you know, like you have to set that aside because what if we gain so much from having a network?
For sure.
Like that is a business principle. Like who you know is so important in business, and so your talent can only get you so far, and who you know is the other piece. So what's some advice you would give? Like if we think about I need to connect with people, what does that look like?
I would say the biggest thing for humans are wired for connection, right? That's what we want. We want to connect with other people. We want to find similar interests and discuss those things and feel united in something, right? For me in HR, a lot of the times when I'm connecting with employees, I want to help them get to wherever it is that they want to go. And so the way I connect to I want to know about their families. I want to know about what's going on in their lives. I want to know what their career aspirations are. And then I want to connect with them on a level where we can actually start planning for those types of things. I'll help, get resources and tools and trainings or whatever it is for them to connect them to the things that they also need in order to further themselves down the path. So, yeah, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, for sure. What's your thought?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I share the same sentiment. Like, people, like, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. Like, people want to be included. But, like, the biggest thing is, like, I think it goes back to, Nike, right? Like, just do it. Mm-hmm. There's so many people that are scared to go network at an event, right? Whether it's, like, I'm a female and it looks like there's all dudes at your event. Like, I don't know if I want to go to that event. And it's just, like, all of us don't care. Or, like, I've never biked in my life. I don't know if I should go to network and pedal. But, like, I just say you have to kind of just go out of your shell and, like, just say, okay, I'm going to do it no matter what.
Yeah.
Because it's funny. Like, my wife and I are complete opposites. I'm the extrovert, she's the introvert, so she's really scared to do that. But like, if you get her in like a room with a team, like if you take her to a networking event, like trust, I took her to a ton of events and that. She's like the star of the show. Like everyone loves to talk to her. Like
after the ice has been broken.
Yeah, she's just like so kind and sweet, and like they want to hang out with her, and they're like, "This is so great."
Jordan, you're great.
But she would never go to that. Like she would
She's
not.
way funnier.
You have to push her out the door to get to an event like that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas me, it's like I've done a million of these. Like, let's go hang out. Who am I going to meet new today? This is going to be great.
Yeah.
And so I would just say like do something you're uncomfortable doing. Like,
yeah, that's where all the growth comes from, right?
Yeah, like
when
if
we're
you're
doing
not willing to
hard
like
things.
do the hard things and like just push yourself, like just show up. Like there will be someone that you'll connect with. It doesn't matter what event it is, whether it's biking, ice skating, golfing. Like you could do any type of event or just a regular going to lunch. Like I've had some really like one of my things on this is a little bit different than networking pedal, but my hashtag on every post I do is called "How can I help you?" Right?
Yep, I love it.
So I'm passionate about like whatever I can do to help you. So I've had some really neat experiences on LinkedIn with people I never thought I would meet in a million years that like reached out and said, "Hey, I've seen your post. I'd love to like just connect and like talk about my career path and where I want to go." And so like that was really hard for some of these people because they would never expose themselves to something like that. So I go and sit down lunch, we break bread, hang out, like have a ton of fun.
Yeah.
But then I get to hear their true story about their family and what's going on, and like you get that connection. But like I know they were scared out of their mind to do something like that. So it's like just do it. Just go try something new.
I heard the most wonderful thing, and I want to get your guys' feedback on this. I was meeting with Carry On. They are the kind of the nonprofit of Thread.
Oh, cool.
And they have a nonprofit skate park locally.
Oh,
and
cool.
Cole runs this, Cole Parkinson. And he was talking about their goal is to get people to be exposed to stress. And so Cole will have you on the show. But I haven't stopped thinking about stress exposure. And so they do difficult things on these like skate parks down these ramps where like, would you ever drop into a skate ramp like on your own? You probably wouldn't unless you know how to.
How to do it. Yeah.
And so it's for kids. And so they have them like slide on their butts. And then they have them like sit on the board and slide down. And they're like, oh, this isn't very far.
Yeah.
And then stepping down into it, like worst case scenario, you hit your butt and your arm sliding down again. And you're like, I'm not worried about it. And so they see their peers doing it, and their fear and anxiety just does this, right? And they were exposed to a stressful situation, and now they're comfortable doing it, right? And so as we think about that from a networking, situation, I have had friends that say, I love the idea of networking, but when I'm done with it, I need to go to my room and be alone for 12 hours and breathe into a bag and recharge. And so being an extroverted extrovert that suffers from extrovertedness, I don't understand that feeling, but that doesn't make me right or them wrong. And so as I think about, you want people to have the opportunity, any of our professionals, to network and connect.
For sure.
There's so much value in these relationships, but there is a barrier to entry.
Yeah.
There's the anxiety of meeting people. There's the concern of what will they think of me?
Sure.
And so I remember, and this is where I want the feedback, I remember exposing myself because it was situational. Not because I was like airing my dirty laundry, but because the discussion for the roundtable was brought up that way. So this is years ago, and I was running a small business, and we'd lost like 40% of our revenue in a 1 month period, like phone call after phone call. They were non-related. They were difficult situations, like a law changed, just nothing that had anything to do with each other. And what are we going to do with that big of a change to our business? And so I was invited to this luncheon to go network, and I was like, I can't go to lunch. I have to go out and sell. Like, I can't, I don't have time to meet with people. I need to go work. And so we get to the lunch, and I'm clearly stressed. You can see it all over me.
Yeah.
And the topic for the day was, when did everything fall apart? And I was like, I'm out. I'm going to cry. I can't talk about this. And there were 6 people around the table.
Yeah.
And they could see that I was like the verge of tears, and they're like, "Why don't you go?" And I was like, So I aired my situation, and I said, "This and this happened." And to my surprise and delight, everyone at the table, when that happened to me,
they've experienced it. They've been there.
And in 45 minutes, my anxiety turned into courage, because I was not alone.
Yep.
And I knew that I could expose myself in a way that others would completely understand. And we're not recommending like just expose all the things, right? But know that with just like network and pedal, whether the skill levels, whatever, we have so much in common.
For sure.
And so that's something I'd like to open up to discussion, is that the willingness to expose that part of us that you think you're alone and you're not.
Yeah.
Right? So what have you guys experienced with that? When you go, Mary?
Oh, I love vulnerability. Like it is, I love it. I am an introvert that has had to overcome that and become an extrovert.
That's hard.
It is. Yeah. I would really struggle with this. I mean, just doing a new hire orientation when I was early in my career, the anxiety, like the talking really fast and stumbling all over my words and all those things. Yeah, that was me. I really had to break out of it. And the way I did it was I was forced to be on stage for emceeing, big events for 1,000 employees, those types of things. Super uncomfortable. But in networking situations where you're literally going there to talk to people about work or connect on business or whatever, I have found literally leading with that helps a ton. You know what? This is super awkward for me. I feel like everybody's judging me and nobody knows who I am. And leading with that actually creates a lot of breakthroughs because, again, we're not in this alone and a lot of people are feeling that same way and it is a great icebreaker. So I love vulnerability. I lead with it.
I really think people appreciate vulnerability,
right?
Yeah. I'm like the exact opposite. I probably share too much.
Jordan, pull it back.
Yeah, whatever. I'll say anything. Like wife says, I've gotten better since we've been married. Like I used to not have a filter, now I kind of have one.
Yeah.
But the reason like you overcome things is because you share them with others.
Yes.
And then you find out that I've been through that too, right? And so it's like, and then also if you never talk about it, then how do you know if anyone's ever not experienced it before, right? It kind of goes with like networking. Like the other thing that not exactly related, but a little off topic is like, you also never know who's going to show up to your events.
Mm-hmm.
Like I plan these events and sometimes 5 people come and sometimes 40 people come.
Yeah.
And so I've closed hundreds of thousands of dollars of deals from this too, because like people that show up, like you get that bond and you become friends with them. People who never would have thought you would have like even met before. Like one of my dream clients when I started my company was like, I want Cubby's. I love that place. I'm like, how can I go meet Cubby? How can I meet these guys?
It's the steak salad, right?
No, I like the steak tacos. Have you had those?
Yeah.
They're money.
Yeah,
so.
they are. Yeah.
Anyways, but I'm like, how am I going to meet these guys? And so I'd always like ask people, hey, do you have an intro? Can you get me in? And I threw a network and pedal event. We went and rode the crest. And
cool.
Guess who showed up?
Yeah.
The controller and the founder of like Cubby's. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever.
It worked.
We became buddies. Now they're clients. And like, so like having that vulnerability,
it was a natural, authentic
by posting
connection.
and doing that,
Of course
like
I
I would never
wanted
know
to
that was going to
hang out
happen.
with you doing
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And like all of a sudden these people came. So like by me posting and doing those things, I got to experience that. But if I didn't do it, then it would never happen. So
one of the things I found myself doing is when I would show up to these events, my purpose was to connect, to get to know them. But I always start off with like all the wonderful things I do.
Yeah.
And it's actually repelling.
Are you pretty great?
Bro, no. And it was amazing how repelling like sharing your successes are.
Yeah.
It actually disengages. There's so much research on this that when you show up to a new relationship and you're bragging, and my wife actually caught me doing this, and I didn't. It wasn't like I intended. Someone asked like, "What do you do?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, X, Y, and Z," and she's like, "You kind of came off bragging." And I was like, "Oh, really?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, And
Yeah.
I really appreciate her candid feedback sometimes, but. When you can like level with someone, we have so much more in common off of what we don't do. So let's look at batting averages for baseball. A good batting average is 33%. That means 66 we're missing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that that's very different in business. We try so hard. We have so many goals in so many areas. And so the gap of what we're missing is more connecting than what we are accomplishing.
Yeah.
And there's so many businesses that face struggles that it's hard to bring that to the surface because they're not just a business struggle, they're a personal struggle, right? We take it personally. And so to lead with your strengths is sometimes tricky. So how is networking like dating? And not that you're trying to create inappropriate relationships, but we can learn a lot from dating, right?
Yeah.
Like what have you seen has been a great like series of questions as you've connected people at your network and pedal to get them to open up? Because some people are not naturally good at opening up.
Yeah.
I think you're great at it. Like, what great questions can we leave with people that, if you try questions like this, people will the trust level just comes up.
Am I going first?
Yeah, you're up this time.
Yeah, we'll just rotate.
Yeah, I think honestly, the question that like I think it's almost my opening statement. Like I'm always gonna go back to sales because that's what I do for a living, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But like one of the first things that I say is like, I'm super transparent. You can ask me anything, right? Like, and people are like, what? Like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, ask me anything. I don't care. And then I relate it back to them. So by them me opening up, saying I'm like open and transparent or anything, then I'll start asking them questions about themselves, because everyone, even though they don't want to admit it, likes to talk about themselves, right? So like, oh, are you married? What do you like to do? Or like, tell me about your kids or whatever, kind of thing. And so once you start asking those questions about them and not focusing on yourself at all, and they like tell you actually can tell you actually want to like listen to them and like become their friend, I think that's what matters much. I don't talk about myself. I try not to talk to myself about it at all. It's like, how do I get to know them and what they're into and what's their thing? And like, I think that goes a long way. So
yeah, I love that.
100%. So my husband's in sales too, and he is the extrovert in our relationship, and he runs a monthly meetup for real estate investors. And his questions are always about the other people. He's like, I've learned I don't have to say anything, because people will just open up. I'll ask them an open-ended question. Has to be open-ended. Yes or no is not going to get you anywhere. He's like, and then they just start opening up, and like everything he's closed a lot of deals from people just sharing information. I do this side of things, and he'll be a connector and go connect people.
Sometimes they tell you things you don't want to know.
That happens too, absolutely. But yeah, it's
that's
just
a lot
opening.
Of information.
Appreciate that.
The awkward moments where you're like, okay. Next. Anyway, yeah. So I would say that's definitely a lot of it is just open-ended questions where literally they just start to spill about everything about themselves, and then you just connect or help them solve problems or whatever it is that they have going on.
Yeah, I love that. So getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Being willing to ask open-ended questions. And I think develop your skills in listening are really important. Mm-hmm. And not just sitting there hearing them, but listening and being able to provide not necessarily feedback, but responses that matter. And I think responses and feedback are different. Not everyone is asking for advice. Sometimes they just want to share. And so when you are able to do that, I've found that. Something I saw too is the frequency. Like there's a time to build and trust with people. And
for sure.
How long are your average rides? I mean, they're not short.
They're not super long, most of them. Like if we're doing local stuff, it's hour and a half. So.
Okay. But like I go down to Moab, you're not doing that.
You're a couple
staying
hours.
Overnight,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if I looked at that, one of the things I've noticed on networking where you travel, I have found on the third day is when people really open up.
So like the third date?
Yeah, right. It's like the third day, the third date. The first day, everybody has natural, the walls are up until I know you. And then the second day, they're testing. What can I share? What can I glean? Yeah. And begin to gauge the relationship. That's human. But when you've had good experiences of the first two, the third one, you're like, okay, I'm actually dealing with X, Y, and Z, or I can help with your situation. Or I found like that third interaction is where trust is really coming together.
For sure.
Especially as business leaders, we face similar challenges. We have similar, home situations. And being able to give that amount of time, I think, is another piece of it. So that repetition of it. How many people repeat your event?
There's a handful that are like I hate to say like followers, but like, if there's a network and pedal event, they're there,
That's
but
awesome.
It's probably like 10 or 15. So
fanboys, right? Yeah. Like, let's go.
Let's ride, like, because like the crazy thing is like most people want to ride with someone else.
Sure.
Like even myself, like when I ride, it's fun to go by yourself, but it's like, it's way more fun with someone else. Like,
oh yeah.
And I don't care if they're slow. I don't care if they're fast and they're trying to push me. It's like, I just want to go ride with someone else and like get to know them and hang out, so.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for both being here today. Really appreciate you. And then Adam's going to get an awesome gift. Thank you for letting us surprise you. We appreciate it.
I was shocked. This is awesome. Seriously. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
This is rad.
You're very welcome. Mary, it's great to have you on the show as always.
Thank you.
And Jordan, we hope to see you again in the future. Thanks for joining us.
I'd love to.
We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.